Hey everybody, Scoutcraft here again, down in the basement. It's hot and humid out. We've had 3 or 4 days over 90 degrees, humid, some thunder showers, things like that. So I don't know how long I can be down here before the shop heats up to an uncomfortable. I got a lot of lights going on. Good in the wintertime, not so good in the summertime. I want to talk about a couple things. First of all, let's get to a project we did last week that I'm going to redo again. Let me show you something. Last week, if you remember, we took a 1/4 inch drift punch or an alignment punch, whatever you want to call it, and we turned it into a Marlin Spike, and I love it. I've been using it, and I can't tell you how much I enjoy this now. This was from the Juan Marquez collection. Now, I liked it so much, I said, you know what? A lot of times you need 2 more. If you get a real knot that's hard to get out, anybody know what that knot is? Isn't that such a nice, the symmetry of that knot? It's just beautiful, isn't it? Always loved it. You know what it is, right? Okay, so I said, I had so much fun making it, and I really like it. I said, I got to make another one, you know? So here we go. We ordered it from Amazon, and made in the USA. How nice is that? $12, shipped to the house, and here we have Tekton, which I didn't even know they made a lot in the USA, but Tekton, and it's called a 1/4 inch alignment punch or a 1/4 inch drift punch. And when they say 1/4 inch, that goes by this diameter here. It tapers up to about 5/8 of an inch here of a rod, and you can see that's the same size as this one. The difference being this one here has 8 facets, making it an octagon, and this one only has 6, making it a hexagon. So it comes bead blasted. You never see me working on new tools here, right? I usually, we always work on the old rusted stuff. But this is brand new. Let's mess it up and make it nice. Now, you don't usually see me pull out the old Craftsman 6-inch bench grinder, but because this punch is hardened, it's a quick way to get it down to the initial shape, and then using the belt sander, you can refine it. So we're going to start with this and rough it out. Now, this is a somewhat tedious job when you're doing this as you're working it down, but one thing you have to remember is you have to constantly dip this in water. You feel it with your finger, it feels very warm, dip it in the water. Don't wait till it gets hot before you dip it. And the other thing is, the thinner this point gets, the more frequently you have to dip it, because it's a smaller diameter and will heat up faster. So you're constantly going between the stone, the water, until you get this shape pretty much. The sanding belt doesn't heat it up as much, but these grind wheels really do heat up, and you don't want to lose the temper. Not that we need a temper much for a Marlin Spike, but if you ever want to use it for a different tool like a punch, it's already hard, why mess it up? Okay, we're calling this project done. Came out really nice, just the way I was hoping it would. I got this down to a nice tapered point here, nice and smoothed out, polished. It's really imperative that you get that sandblasted finish off, because if you're going to use this for any kind of a Marlin Spike, it has to be smooth to slip in between that knot for it to work, and any kind of abrasive coating is just going to hold you up. So that's why they're all usually highly polished. A couple things interesting about this tool that I found out when doing it is that if you look here, you see it says wear safety goggles here. That's stamped in, and it's stamped in by the company that made this punch for Tekton, which is Wildy Products. You can see that WP, but Wildy is the company. They're still around today. They've been in business for 95 years. They're in Northeast Kansas, and they're always running some sales and things like that on their website. They have a great website with the history of the company, and also, like I said, they have a coupon, usually like it's 35% off or something, free shipping over $100, and they're always running sales. So you can actually buy this punch there between $7 and $9, I think it was. So it's really inexpensive. It doesn't even pay to kind of form your own. Now, you can't buy the steel for that. Anyway, interesting thing though that like I said, they make this for other companies. Now, Here is their stamping, okay? You see how they stamped that in? Now on the other side here was the laser engraving where the USA, you could just faintly see it. You remember what it looked like before? Well, that came right out with just light sanding, and that's because that's laser, and laser is horrible as far as its endurance, as far as lasting on tools. Anything that's laser engraved is going to come off. Nothing beats an old-fashioned stamping like this, and that's why it's expensive. They don't do it anymore. Laser's cheap, fast. They zip it on there, and you know what happens? You wear it off, and then you can't get your warranty because the laser's worn off. Anyway, now I have the two of them here. You can see they're almost identical, except for this one having an octagon shape, this one having a hexagon. But really nice. These are tools. You should really think about making one of these, even if you can make it out of an old long bolt if you have one laying around. They don't have to be tempered hard, but the nice thing about the hard temper is that you can use this for multiple purposes. Next up, interesting subject here. I'm retiring these shop shoes. I know you're probably saying, why you retire them? They look good. An old pair of New Balance shoes. These I only wear in the shop. That's why they're covered in paint and dust and what. But they're getting retired. I just bought a new pair. And let me tell you something, though, that's interesting. When I was looking at these, I said, I bet you a lot of people, I know my fellow Marines out there would know this, but did you know that Marines all tie their shoes exactly the same? And, like the way we lace them up, and we do that for a reason. The funny thing is, the Marines are like the Masons. We got some secret stuff, secret handshakes. It's not about that, but I'm going to tell you why we do what we do. You see this over here, how it goes over? That's called the bridge over troubled water. And I know right now, like my friend Big Mike and a few other Marines out there are laughing because, they haven't heard this for years. But this is the bridge over troubled water. That means it goes like this instead of under and above. And everything is left over right. You see all the laces here are left over right. And there's a method to that madness. Just like every Marine knows the birthday of the Marine Corps, and every Marine knows certain, because what would happen is if you were out on patrol. Now, since the beginning of warfare, people have always been infiltrating other camps and base camps by sneaking in with a patrol that might have went out and is coming back in. Because, somebody gives the password in the front of the patrol, and then the rest, everybody marches right in. But in the Marine Corps, what you would do is, let's say you saw somebody that didn't look familiar, or you don't know where he's from, and maybe they spoke normal and they had the right platoon that they were with, or the right company, but all you had to do was look them over, and you could tell that every Marine has certain things that they know, and just like the way they lace their shoes. So you could look at them right away, and you saw that those shoes laced wrong, you knew right away that this guy wasn't where he should be. And if you were in the service and you laced your shoes up wrong, you were asking for trouble, That's not a good thing, but pretty interesting. Now, the reason I have my shoes down here today is because every time I throw out a pair of shoes, and I've been doing this for 20, 30 years, I don't know why. This is what happens when you're like a kind of a hoarder or something. Anyway, what I do is I take the laces out. I wash them, I hang them up, let them dry, and then I roll them up and I put them in a bag. And you cannot believe how many times you might come in and need a shoelace for some reason, or somebody breaks a shoelace, or whatever the case may be. It's such a great thing because you don't wear them out. It's not like years ago when we were kids. You were stepping on them, tripping on them. Adults, we don't usually wear them out, so that's why they're down here. Here we are, all finished up, cleaned up, and dried up. Now I also do the same thing with sweatpants and anything that has a rope in it that's in good shape and not frayed out. You can see once you wash them, they come out like brand new. Good idea, good tip. So in closing, thanks very much for tuning in. Hope you have a great weekend. Take care now. Bye-bye. Okay, funny story, true story. Listen up. Stationed down in Camp Pendleton, California. We were doing some kind of infantry school down there. And we were going into Oceanside, nice little town. That's where Nixon used to live. Beautiful little town there. And we had Liberty. We were going in. And on our way back, it was late at night. You have to take the bus to get in and out of Pendleton. So we're on the bus, and these two undocumented gentlemen get on. They look like they were from Mexico. A lot of undocumented people try and go up through there. And we see them all the time, Doesn't matter. So they're on the bus, they get on together, but they sit in two separate areas. So now, if that was today, it'd be a whole different situation with the whole terrorist thing and everything. But this is back in the 80s, And, you know, it was, nobody cared. So they got on the bus and, you know, we're talking, you know, the friends. Now, everybody's got Marine Corps super tie and tight haircuts. You know what I mean? Like, this would be considered long. And these guys look like Elvis. You know what I mean? Their hair is super long. And the funny thing is, when you go into base, the couple of the MPs get on the bus, they just give the once up and down the bus, just check it out to make sure that, you know, nobody's trying to get through the security. And sure enough, they see these two guys, and, you know, the guys are sitting there quiet, trying to blend in. You know what it was like to try and, they got Elvis haircuts, and everybody else there looks like John Dillinger. And so they said, you know, you got ID? And they're like, no, we don't. Say, okay, come with us. So they're bringing the guys off the bus, and as they're bringing them off the bus, I stopped one of the sergeants. I said, Sergeant, let me ask you a question. He goes, I go, was it the laces? We all had a kick out of that, you know.